All right, guys, I'm going to cover more in this video than I've covered in any other video, starting here. So I came out in a video and I said that we had 3 different bets this past week in football. I gave it a week before the game started, and we moved the line in all 3 games. So he says, LOL, you think you moved that line? Haha. So I gave it out a week before, and within an hour to 2 hours, all 3 lines had moved, okay? One line, our Carolina game, moved a full point within an hour. The other 2 games both moved a half point, and we ended up beating the closing line. But if you want to argue that point and say that I didn't move the lines, then you have to admit the other side. And this is the problem that the trolls have. So if your point is that I didn't move the lines, which we did, I mean, anyone in Masterclass, guys, Masterclass members, let them know within an hour to 2 hours, 3 NFL lines, we moved them right away. Ended up beating those closing lines by even more by the time kickoff came. But if that is not the case, if I didn't beat the closing line, then the fact that trolls have to admit to is I find value in all these games. If I'm not the one moving the line, if I am not the one moving the line, then why am I beating the closing line by a point and a half, 2 points, 4 points in a college football game? If I'm not the one moving the line, then am I the best in the world at finding value? So that's the inconvenient truth the trolls are faced with. Either it is me moving the lines and Masterclass moving these lines, or the alternative is because we're beating these closing lines significantly. So if it's not me beating the closing lines, then why am I beating every single football line? And I don't mean like some football lines, I mean every single football line. Why am I beating them? Am I that good where I can identify value in every single game and get it right? Why am I beating the closing line on all these games if it's not me moving them? So at the end of the day, it is one of 2 things. Either, yes, I am moving NFL and college football lines myself in Masterclass, or I am beating the closing line on every single game. There is no other solution to that problem. That is a conundrum for the trolls. On to the next thing. Okay, guys, let's talk debate really quickly, because I put a lot of value into the betting markets, not so much into the polls. I do my own research when it comes to polls, and I find that they're grossly misweighted and mismanaged, and they give you poor information. But I do respect the betting markets, and this is Donald Trump from 9 p.m. through till 10:15, and we saw a 3% decrease in the betting markets. So does that state that Harris won this debate? Let's take a look at the numbers. So before the debate started, Trump was about a 3-point favorite. We've seen a 3% decrease, and now it's pretty much a dead heat, with Harris having an ever so slight lead in the betting community. Now look, this does not represent what will happen on election day, but it's very telling. I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you believe won the debate? Was it Harris or was it Trump? But it's very telling, at least from the betting market standpoint. And keep in mind, guys, look, this is poly markets. This is outside of the US. There is 0 US influence on this, guys. This is a worldwide thing except for the US. So there's no US representation here in these numbers. So again, not indicative of what's going to happen on election day, just basically what the betting markets around the world think. On to the next thing, really cool story. Beer Hockey League team playing for the championship game. Only problem is goaltender took a knee. He is out. They need a goaltender. So what do? Championship game. They post an ad, a desperation ad saying, we need a goaltender. We need someone who can step up and play in the championship game. Guess what? The goalie who responded to the ad on Facebook was Roberto Leango. They ended up winning the game 4-2. Now, I did not see the game, nor did many people, but apparently Lou was in absolutely prime form, and they beat the defending champions to win the title in this beer league. I can only imagine how upset the other team was. They couldn't defend the title against this legend. All right, guys, we're going to close it out with a little bit of Canadian content. I'm Canadian. I don't do enough Canadian stuff, but this is absolutely epic right now. So this is a Tim Hortons. If you're from the US, specifically the southern US, you might not know what Tim Hortons is, but this is Canada's version of Dunkin' Donuts. It's everywhere. This right here, guys, is a store, Tim Hortons in Canada. Does that look familiar to anyone? It should, because this used to be a KFC. Yes, this was a KFC, and rather than take the bucket down, they said, to hell with that. Let's just put a coffee cup up there, and this has to be the most Canadian thing I've seen in a long time. All right, guys, we covered a lot today. At the end of the day, when it comes down to do I move NFL lines, I'm going to show you firsthand that I do move NFL lines. And I'm going to film something and I'm going to give you a prime example that we can actually move NFL lines. Now, the reason the trolls say that I can't is because that's incredibly hard to do. Everyone would admit, how many people on this planet right now can actually move lines? Very few. So the trolls would admit very openly, right? I mean, they're laughing, saying, I can't move the lines. So they would admit very openly saying that no way Bender can move lines. I'll show you that I can. But if they're saying that I can't move lines, it's that inconvenient truth for them that how do I beat the closing line on all the games? How is that possible? Inconvenient truth. That's pretty much it. Legendary move by Leango, very Canadian of Tim Hortons. And who do you guys think won the debate today? I know the global markets seeing a 3% decrease in Trump. The global markets think it was Harris, but what do you guys think? Let me know. That's it. Lot to digest. I wish you guys the best of luck. We'll see you soon.